Hello again. So I've been thinking about what do I want to do with these videos? Why am I doing this? And what do I want to say? Well, as I said before, I have a lot to say and a lot of stories to tell. And I think that because of Jesus, you just want to share. So there's one thing about having Christ in your life, it's that you want other people to also receive him or know about it, and you want to share. So I figure maybe telling some stories. Some of my favorite people and teachers and preachers that I've ever listened to or gotten anything from, they're usually just telling stories. So I'm here to tell some stories. And I'm talking to my bear here, my stuffed bear, but I also noticed yesterday that I kept looking up in my cupboard where I have a picture of my siblings, my two siblings. These are my brothers who have passed when I was much, much younger. And then I kept kind of noticing I was looking at them and talking when I was talking to the camera. So I also thought I'd go ahead and grab this picture of the rest of my siblings and me as well. So there's a lot of us. There were 7. I'm the baby of 7. Not so much anymore, but the youngest of 7. And I was going to go through all of the different experiences and religions or denominations that I've kind of explored and that have happened, I would say happened to me, or life happens and you end up here and there and everywhere. And so I thought I would go through, and here are some of them just to start with, and I'm just going to run through them, and then I thought maybe I'll do like a video on each different one and what I've gleaned from that and what I think is amazing and great about each one, because here's the problem. Our brothers and sisters in the world, all over the place, believing and unbelieving, we seem to have a hard time just loving on them and considering them siblings. And so I was telling my husband yesterday, I said, I think my problem is all the division and arguing that's going on. And I said, and I feel like God is grieved, and it saddens him to see his kids fighting and not loving each other. And he said, well, come on now, siblings, they love each other, even if they do fight. I was like, okay, there's some truth in that, but I don't think they're loving each other. I think that they're mostly fighting. And I'm kind of referring to the big picture here, like life in America, politics, religion, you name it. Everybody seems to be very polarized. So anyway, I was going to go over all these different faiths or different perspectives on the same faith, which is Christianity or whatnot. So here, I started out Catholic because I was born and raised Catholic, and then born again by the Spirit, which I know that's not a denomination, but that was a personal experience that I'm going to get into. And then I started checking out some other churches after I was born again. Church of Christ was one of the first, and then there was the Spirit-filled Pentecostal folks, and then some revival meetings, which are also kind of in that same vein probably as the Pentecostals and the Spirit-filled folk. And then the Baptists, also Messianic Jews, went through a little spell and learned a little bit about the Messianic Jewish beliefs, which is really interesting because these are believers in Jesus as the Messiah, but also have a seriously Jewish slant. And then we got the Pentecostals, which I named already, and then the Catholics again. And then there's been different teachers and preachers on TV or videos or whatever, like Martin Zender, which is the one that I mentioned in a different video, who is kind of a no-church sort of guy, like get away from the church because they're all wrong. And yet he's got a lot of interesting Bible interpretations and information that rings very true. And then there was some John Crowder, throw him in there too, because I ended up looking up him and watching a bunch of his videos not too long ago. And this is all in Christian experiences. So I thought, like I said, I'd make a video on maybe each one, starting with the Catholics, because that's where I started. And then also there's a little stint that I didn't mention about atheism and agnostic faith, which is where, or no faith, which is where I was for about a decade after a lot of trauma and death in my family life. Then I didn't have anything to do with God and didn't believe in him for quite some time. Angry. But at any rate, so that's my plan. If any of you think it'll be interesting or fun to follow along, I'll try to make the videos not too long and see what you think and see how it goes. So In the meantime, I would like to think that there's a thread of unity that goes through all the different beliefs and denominations and faith, because Christ died for all, and because the whole world is His and belongs to Him, and His ultimate heart and desire is to gather together all things in Him. And that means all the divisions and evil and darkness and all that stuff is just going to be washed away in time. Now, He died on the cross and covered the sin of the whole world. And so we are now just kind of part of watching Him do His work in the earth, which is to reconcile. So be reconciled. God is for us, and for us, not against us. I guess that's it for today. God bless. Happy holidays. I'll tune in again soon. Bye-bye.